Good evening. This presentation is brought to you by Design Team 3, John Glaser, Tiffany Ingram, Danae Lewis, and Jade Wallace. Our goal was to find out how to enrich the middle and high school educational process by offering opportunities to partner with businesses so that students can find their passion in learning while creating a sustainable economy. Therefore, we designed a business school partnership system of education that connects learners with the real world practices at various types of businesses. This school will service students in grades 7 through 12. In Peter Singa's A School That Learns, he states that connecting systems thinking, education for sustainability, and authentic youth engagement creates a powerful base for leadership development. That's exactly what we hope to bring to you. In an effort to respond to market needs and quote unquote bridge the economy, our group presents to you the idea of a proprietary institution, one in which we not only recognize the active role students play in the learning process, but also the vast diversity that exists among students in terms of their strengths, interests, cultural backgrounds, and educational contexts.
In our School of the Future, our school will be physically designed in a non-traditional format. Because we would like to create a business school partnership, learning spaces will be conference rooms, the same as you would see in many office buildings. Space can be used for multiple purposes such as large group meetings, small group presentations, or one-to-one consultations with facilitators or business leaders. Also, students will work in the field at various job sites. This will enable them to quickly apply the knowledge they've constructed in school and build upon it by applying it to real-world business environments. Information will flow by beginning with an individualized student education plan. Students will complete job questionnaires, evaluations, as well as personality tests to appropriately pair them with a career field. Students will complete job readiness training, discussing job etiquette, professionalism, and dress. Information is communicated to the facilitator, coach, or teacher, and business teachers. The business teacher will be an employee from the prospective business. Students will be provided with a job coach that will serve as a guide through the student's independent study and align students with daily activities to Common Core standards. A transition coordinator will be a liaison between the school and business. The student is completing weekly journal assignments, goal-setting activities with a coach, and they are involved in monthly presentations with school coaches, and they work with managers on what was learned in the workplace. Each semester or year, students are able to consider other fields or take on more advanced level in their current track. Businesses are similar to today's teaching hospitals, where students complete residencies. Businesses will provide opportunities for side-by-side learning. Students can take classes on location at the business. They also learn to solve real-world problems in the context of an actual business. Student-led experiences, they will set their own goals based on projects that they would like to complete in the workplace.
Next, we have the graduation project. In order to officially exit out of the 12th grade, students will have to complete graduation requirements. Aside from attendance, residencies, and group meetings, the graduation project consists of 65% of their overall grade. This project is aimed to heighten their knowledge and skills through critical thinking, communication, program planning, prevention and intervention, evaluation, and research skills. based on problem areas in which students have identified through the course and have been documenting. Their agenda is to generate a program that will help with these areas for the future of the agency and attempt to help sustain the agency in light of change. These projects will be completed in real-life conference forum in front of peers, colleagues, school and agency administrators. We will also allow them to invite family and friends. Students will dress the part. During the exit after graduation, the plan is to have them leave with pre-professional experience, establish an entry-level professional identity, and an enhanced appeal to potential employers.
Hi, this is Tiffany Ingram, and I'll be discussing our implementation strategies for our design team. It's critical starting out that our school identify our areas of opportunity and also identify what businesses we would like to partner with to serve as hosts for our residency opportunities for our students, as well as identifying the job tracks, or shall I say, more appropriately, the career paths for our students. So career paths that we may consider would be math and science, or a technology track for maybe students who are interested in engineering or technology in terms of anything with computers, or as well as a hospitality track for students who may be interested in either working at a hotel or in a restaurant, event planning, things of that nature, partnering with local hotels or restaurants who may be able to serve as sponsors for our resident students, in addition to other areas such as performing arts, as well as even a social science component for our students who may want to go into a more human development or counseling type fields, allowing them to have that opportunity to look at those possible careers as well. So in order to make this project possible, we know that we have to have a discussion about funding. How will we get the finances? How will we raise the funds or attract the funds to continue to support our students and their residency programs through middle school and into high school? So one of the ways we hope to create this funding source is through the businesses that participate in the program, having them pay the students' wages as they complete their residencies at that location. But we also would like the businesses to be eligible, working directly with local government and possibly being eligible for a tax credit for being a part of the program. So not only are we building partnerships, not only with local businesses and companies, organizations, we were also linking in the government aspect to it and allowing them to really tie that connection into having, a benefit for our business partners to participate in this program and assist our students in building the wealth of knowledge that they need to be successful in life after high school.
And that concludes our presentation. Any questions?
So, a couple of comments. I'd like, I think your idea, particularly, again, the word residency is kind of interesting. And I want you all to think about this. And you caught yourself, it was kind of interesting. You talked about tracks and then you jumped to paths and then back to tracks. And one of the things, I was thinking about is that why, why think about this in terms of high school and grade level? Because what I'm seeing here is the potential that if you have a kid who is 15 years of age or a kid who's 17 years of age and they are migrating towards a particular pathway or pathways, why do we worry about it from a graduation point of view as opposed to some form of different leaving point from your residency into a next level? And I'm just trying to get you to think about that, because as I said to you guys before, the question of language and how it shapes our thinking about the development of structure is something that I think is very important. So your word pathway, I would ask you, your team to think a little bit outside the box in terms of traditional grade level. What would this structure do to groupings of people that would be different than what we presently have? So that's my comment.
Well, I believe that the graduation project is more so for the agencies. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we can have 15-year-olds who are ready to pursue this career and enter the career. However, we can't change the mindset of these agencies in which we are affiliated with. So therefore, the graduation project, it pretty much serves as the extra skill and extra what word am I looking for?
Just to prove competency of skills.
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm getting you to look at is, though, go beyond the agency, because what you're trying to do, and I like your idea, what you're doing there, but what I'm concerned about is don't let the agencies confine the possibility, because if the idea becomes extremely appealing. So again, think about the team ones with their ship. That concept is there, and I'm curious about the fact that when you look at these kids and what you're talking about, and the model makes a lot of sense, don't allow the team to be boxed in by what agencies want. What you're trying to do is create an environment that will even change the agency's thinking. So I want you to feel free enough to do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yep.
What other feedback, comments to these guys?
For all of the groups, I would like to mention that you can Google them and find them out on the internet. There are many examples of surveys that can be given to the students. And as you go through the surveys, asking the questions that have been put together, it kind of funnels them into a direction. They're interested in working with people. They're interested in going this way or that way. But the surveys that are out there, I use them all the time in the transition stage to see by nature, what are the kids leaning toward, which verbally you may not have gotten that answer.
So other comments from other people about what you heard, and have seen in terms of this model, because I think the model's good. I like the approach to it. But as I said, the only thing I'm trying to free you up is don't worry about what the agencies think.
This is Catherine again. I think, since they already have the business partner, they can leverage that relationship and have the business partner issue a certificate. Because why should the agency issue a certificate? I mean, this is even more valuable to have the business, issue the certificate. Can you imagine you have a 3M certificate, or you have I cannot think of another company, but
Microsoft. How about the Microsoft?
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's correct. Google, right?
Yep.
Well, that goes along with the idea that Kyle Peck had, remember?
The badges.
Old with the badges.
Yep.
That kids go to school and earn badges in certain mini areas.
Yep.
And because they get to a company and don't know how to use a program on the computer. Well, they got that badge, they can use it. So his idea was for kids to accumulate a number of badges that certified them in skills.
Well, one thing, another thing that we want to also bring into light is that, you know, these jobs, even though they're scarce, they are competitive. And, you know, at the end of the day, even though we're servicing a certain population, they may not always, you know, get the job that they want. So therefore, it is a competition within, I guess, the group that they are in. So therefore, you know, some type of, even if, you know, they aren't initiated in the agency at the age of 15 years old because they've developed the skills and the quality, you know, the quality to actually perform those duties. If they aren't selected, what else do they have? What else will they, you know, exit the program with? You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe, you know, the graduation project may, I mean, not necessarily naming it a graduation project after, you know, after hearing your thoughts, but maybe naming it as something else, not for, you know, just for the ones who aren't selected, because these agencies are, you know, selective and you know, Rome is selective. So, you know, especially if we're looking at the Philadelphia area,
Yeah, it's almost that what you want to think about in that, because of the population you're dealing with, is a portfolio of performance. So if you work off the concept of portfolio of performance, if I'm coming out of this learning environment and I have a portfolio of all the types of skills that I, you know, can offer to you, then I think that becomes much more powerful than, let's say, a diploma or anything of that nature. And I think that's where we're starting to see. And I think industry, those of you who have worked in industry, if you saw that type of portfolio, I'm just going to use the word portfolio performance, would that be much more meaningful than, let's say, a high school diploma?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because we need to measure what our students actually can do,
Right.
and what they actually, instead of courses they've taken, but what are the skills that you actually have as a result of that.
And
so, I mean, ideally, we do agree with the portfolio performance. We like that idea.
Yeah.
That's really good feedback, and also as well as the certificate. It needs to be something of knowing what the student knows as a result of going through this.
It gives you a validation of their exact skills.
And most of your kids are special ed, right?
It could be for anybody. I think we are going through the concept of it being individualized, like a plan we would put in place for a special education student.
Right.
But I'm pretty much thinking it could be for any of our inner city youth that we have had a hard time engaging through their education process, and going into middle and high school, really offering a project-based learning approach where they're doing real work in a real life setting.
Which really takes them out of the classroom and puts them into community.
Yes.
Yeah, which really, then again, look at congruency of the last group talking about that idea of emotional, you know, service learning, et cetera, that generally, and I'm going to throw this out and you can tell me if it's true or not, a lot of these kids that are in inner city are disconnected with community. And that's why, you know, and the research shows why many kids join gangs and things of that nature. It's because there is that social connection and a sense of belonging. Whereas if you could create that in service learning, within an environment of work, it might shift that pattern of behavior over time.
Absolutely.
And I think it's about exposure. So our team discussed through several of our sessions about exposing our students. They don't know what they like to do or what they may even consider wanting to do if they haven't been exposed to it.
Yeah.
So providing the opportunity of working with different businesses in several different areas and fields will give them an opportunity to be exposed to that information.
Good.
Outside of just what they would think of typical career tracks or fields per se, but they need to be exposed to new information and a real life experience of what work looks like.
Yeah, and that's why I said be careful of the word track and move more towards, I like that pathway, because I'm telling you that the language we use is so important in order to make shifts in terms of new ideas. So keep that in mind.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth, and I've been really very interested in this whole project. I like the extra requirement for graduation, is because what I know I see, especially in the inner city, is that students drop out. They don't continue on to college. And so this is a great way to open their minds to the possibilities of a career path after high school if college is not for them, and hopefully will inspire them that, okay, this particular job I'm looking into requires college credits and might inspire them to go on to college. Also, like, I have a young teenager in my house she's a senior in Michigan, Detroit. This coming Saturday is college decision day, and she doesn't even know what she wants to be. And on the application, she put undeclared, undecided major. So this track would have been a great exposure for her to at least narrow down certain pathways of where she could go. Another thing I wanted to comment on is maybe you can also include a criminal justice path, law offices, and also, oh Lord, I forgot. Okay, criminal justice, and there was another one in my head, but I just forgot. So law offices, police enforcement. I know you had focused a little bit more on the sciences, but also, banking and entrepreneurship.
That's really good feedback.
Yep, excellent points. Well, that's the whole thing that Young Zal talks about is the need, to move into getting kids to become entrepreneurial. And also, if you read, that I told you guys about, that video, Humans Need Not Apply, and what's taking place with automation and how automation is affecting all levels of jobs, not just, quote, low-skilled jobs, it's high professional jobs, et cetera. The ability to become entrepreneurial. And then when you look at Young Zal's concept of product-based learning, which means that kids can create a service or they can create something that is marketable. And that then becomes a very critical issue, as you look at these pathways that you're exploring. And I think the ones that were just, talked about are great ones that need to be added in. So any other comments?
Well, the person who mentioned before about you have your heart set on this job that you want to get, and because of the competition, you go for the job and you don't get it, there should then be a redirect component in their learning. Like, I didn't get this. Okay, I absolutely quit. I'm jumping off the bridge. But get kids to understand they're not going to get every job they apply for. But if you don't, reassess what you want, reassess your values, and redirect your efforts. And look at the paths you can redirect to from where you're standing now. They have to have that capability so they don't just quit on you.
Absolutely. That is a value that we will instill in our students, because we want it to be reality based. And reality is you know, there are a lot of jobs out here in which, you know, you may qualify for, but may not be the most qualified, you know, for it. And, you know, if you don't succeed, then you know, just have to reevaluate, start over, and, you know, don't give up. So that's definitely something that we would incorporate in our learning. So, you know, like I said, it's going to be reality based. So it is going to be a competition. Nothing comes easy. So
Right.
definitely, yeah.
Right. So look at the skills you have. Yes, they were good for your ideal job that you wanted, but now I'm going to redirect myself. What other job are they good for?
Right.
And there again goes your transition experience that the other team talked about, showing having facilitators from different organizations present the needs that are out there in their companies. And so, okay, I didn't like this one, but my skills might be able to go for this one and look in a different direction.
Okay, that sounds good. So I think, so team 3, you have enough information now? Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, so I'm going to turn
Thank
off
you.
the recording.